Let's go break down Teddy Swims' I Lose Control and learn something from there. If you're watching this, you're my hero. Not too many people are interested in those lyrics breakdowns, so let's go. Start with the rhymes. Lately, closing in. Not too much of a rhyme. Anymore, at my door. That's better. Times, alone, bones. Alright? Tall on me, best to keep. This one's a pre-chorus or whatever. Next to me, can't you see? In front of you, meh. Part, in front. Next to me, a mess of me. Problematic, bad habit. You have to pronounce it a certain way to make it rhyme, but it still works in the context. And with you, it takes two. Alright, somewhat rhyming. No, own, maybe. Problematic, I'm an addict. This one's better. These are pretty much cleverer rhymes than the rest of them. Some relief, in your teeth, through the trees, on my knees, darling please. That's a lot of same rhyme all over again. The rhyming game is not all so strong here, but there are still some things we can explore. The first thing I want to point out is the broken rhythm. Teddy Swims tends to break the rhythms to whatever he finds fit so that the lyrics sound more like a rap or something. These are not some of your classical lyrics. These are pretty much progressive in terms of how hippity-hoppity those are. So the rhythms are all over the place. I'm not sure if the author is anyhow versed in making those even, and I'm not sure if all that unevenness and syllabic inconsistency is on purpose, if it's deliberate. But okay, it works with the song. Though it does seem like it's not the author controlling the lyrics, but instead the lyrics controlling the author. Oh, and by the way, I'm Vadusha and I'm the greatest expert in song lyrics in the entire world, and maybe even on YouTube. What we root for here on this channel is to take control over writing your lyrics so that anything you do is deliberate. If you want to convey a thought, if you want to use a tool, if you want to build a metaphor or a punchline, you don't have to wait for inspiration. You just take deliberate steps and make it work. Instead of lyrics controlling you, you control the lyrics. There's some internal rhyming going on, and I think that is very deliberate here. The author does know what they're doing with the rhyming. Out of my mind, how many times? Almost full rhyme here and there, like a panta rhyme. Then again here, yeah, no, could do it on my own. Again, some internal rhyming going on. Some relief, in your teeth, through the trees, on my knees, darling please. This can count as an internal rhyme. A lot of rhyming, a string of rhymes, I'd say. Let's see if there's any other phonetic devices going on, like taking a toll on somebody. There's some little alliteration and then tearing the skin. Taking a toll, trying, tearing. I'm not sure if it's deliberate, but it does look like some proper alliteration going on there. Body, bad habit, break. This may be some occasional alliteration. This does look like it could have happened by chance. I'm not sure if this was done on purpose. Black magic, bad habit is a sort of a mirrored rhyme there. It pulls all through the verse and then it repeats right here. I see no more alliterations there. The magic here is in the metaphors. The magic here is in the other devices. There's some syntactic devices going on. There's some reuse of words. Let's see what we can learn from here. My favorite one is this one. Problematic, problem is. Problematic, problem is. That's the very beginning of a nice tool. The place where it manifests itself the most is right here, like a bad habit. And then bad habits hard to break when I'm with you. So reusing the end of the previous line as the beginning of the next line. This is called ANADIPLOSIS. And this is absolutely a tool you don't see too often and you can steal from there and use in your own lyrics. Totally recommend. Then again, this parallelism here, starting very same, problematic, problem is, problematic, problem is. The problem is, it's not repeated anywhere else in the song. That's such a nice pattern that could have been used, but wasn't. The rest is metaphors, like feels like the walls are closing in, which is sort of a weak metaphor. Everybody's been using it for a while. The devil's knocking on my door. Another one, very nice. Something unsettling going on, uneasy. Out of my mind is probably a bit of an exaggeration. Breaking my heart is a weak metaphor. Then a couple of similes here. Want your body like a fiend, like a bad habit. And then explaining the metaphor, extending the metaphor. Bad habits hard to break, adding a layer of senses here. Full moon, black magic, and takes two. When I'm with you, I'm an addict is a nice metaphor, so addicted to somebody, but not too much of a fresh metaphor. This one's very commonplace. Skinning your teeth, the person biting them back, pretty much it with the imagery. Let's see if there's any storytelling going on. I can see from here that no storytelling going on in any of those lines, and there's like a line level storytelling possible when you use gradation or climax. When you're string attributes like big, very big, and then enormous, and then gigantic. So this expanding of attributes is called gradation. I don't really see here. Let's see if there's any major storytelling going on. Not knowing what's happening to the character, then claiming some uneasiness, then extending the uneasiness, tearing the skin off my bones is very, very, very strong, as opposed to I'm no good at being alone. Then I lose control. We understand what's going on. So there's a heartbreak going on or something. I don't really see behind those metaphors if there's anything changing in the lyrics there. It starts from describing the situation, then just going back a little bit and explaining probably why the situation happened, because the character loses control in the presence of the other, and then expressing the will to go back to the situation again. There's a storyline there, but you need to look through the metaphors really carefully to see that. Right, all in all, 3 things that I would improve and 3 things that I would take from the lyrics. Let's start with improvements. The very first thing I would improve is I'd add consistency to the rhythm and the rhyming schemes, so that there's a pattern, because it's all over the place and nothing seems strong. Basically, there's a couple of things you can manipulate there. First one is when you have very, very syllabically even, consistent lines, you can break the consistency occasionally to manipulate the listener's attention. When there's an even, broken. So you draw the listener's attention to the broken line, and then it becomes strong. But when all of your lines are broken, you can't pinpoint one. You can't highlight it. You can't draw the attention to it. So when everything is broken, nothing sort of is. It's like when your room is nice and tidy, you see a little spot on the floor immediately. But when it's all messy, even if there's spillage all over, you won't even notice it. So that's something you could do. Another one is manipulating the length of the lines. Like here, the author introduces a very, very short line that is contrasted to the huge lines there. Short to huge. So that's a good thing, actually. But all in all, I would totally introduce some consistency in the meter and rhyming, so that there's more room for myself to manipulate the listener's attention. Another thing, I would add some storytelling. So I would change it a little bit so that it's more transparent, because now it's very hard to push through. And number 3, I would probably introduce some more alliterations. It works really well when it's there, but it's not always there. So I'd think of some synonyms here to make these pop even more. Now let's go to some things I would learn from this song, some 3 things I would take from there. One is the ANADIPLOSIS. That's a very good tool, often neglected. Totally recommend using it. It's not all that hard to employ. Just repeat the last word in the next line, and it makes the line so much more poetic. So that's something you can steal for sure. Another thing, as I've said, is manipulating the length of the lines, contrasting a short line to a long line, so that there's a refresher in the listener's attention and they're waiting for more. And probably the last one is having those inconsistent choruses. Even when everything is off, the chorus is a bit different from everything. Not just musically, but lyrically and rhythmically as well. The lines are different, the structure is different, so that's a very good way to create contrast between the verse and the chorus. So the chorus is what makes the song pop really well. Again, thank you for watching the video till the very end and not skipping any bit of it. It lets YouTube know the video is interesting and YouTube starts promoting the video, and most importantly, makes me happy. Let me know in the comments if you noticed any other tropes or stylistic devices in there that we could use. And if you like videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel, and please like the video if you have a heart. ANADIPLOSIS is the #1 thing. I haven't heard about it in a while, so I hope you learned about ANADIPLOSIS from here, because you're awesome. Yes, you are.